Lovely evening, everybody. How we all doing? Thank you very much. Those joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and those joining us on our different sound platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Anchor FM, and all that. Thank you so much for joining us for this evening's episode of our Daily Voice devotional interview, the monthly interview. This month we've been talking about the power to start again. Believe me, it's not easy. I can tell you the truth. It's not easy to start again, particularly when you've had a false or a bad start. And all of us, at some point in our life, have these false starts. You run, you fall down, you have to pick up again and get into the race. Extremely difficult. But I'm talking to this couple who had that start, had challenges, picked up, and the race we are running now. I myself am running faster so that nobody come and catch me. You know where it is. So please join me and welcome Yinka and Bunmi Akitoye. Welcome to our Daily Voice devotional monthly interview. Good to have you. Good. Now, by the way, Yinka's great grandfather is Oba Akitoye. You know the guy that is it Dosmu that sent your grandfather, your great grandfather, that they sent away? He went to Badagry, went to get militants. He's the first one to get militants. He got these guys and they came back into Lagos, bombarded the whole thing, and took the seat of power again. You know, that's you can see that. You can see that the food doesn't fall far from the tree. So it's nice having you guys around. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
How are the kids? You have two lovely kids like me, by the way. Lovely kids. So we'll go through the whole thing. They'll share a story and we'll see how we'll get the lessons out of that. So they got married about 8 years ago. 8 years later this year.
Yes.
8 years in is that October? October will be 8 years. They got married. So October will be 8 years. Will be 2013. Yinka was working in the north. The wife was shuttling back and forth and all that. Then they moved in there now. And they moved to the north, working with this wonderful organization. He was doing well, fine boy, smart guy, doing well. His wife was a lovely tailor, by the way, so very good clothes. In case you want to, And they were doing well. Young couple moved to the north. How many states were you? Kano?
Yes, Kano, Kaduna, and then after a while I moved to Benue State.
Okay, Kano, Kaduna, Benue States. And you ran back to Lagos?
Yes.
Can you imagine this woman? Ran back to Lagos, left her husband alone. And in the midst of this, things were looking well, money was flowing, everything was cool, life was cool. You were the pride of your family, everybody was looking up to you, this and that, and your organization were looking at you, maybe you were stealing money from somewhere because you were living good. Good. And life was cool. It was cool. And some things happened. There was a challenge on the job, challenge the business, and all that in 2016, 17. And by 2017, you left Lagos 2014.
Yes.
So by 2017, that's like 3-4 years later,
Yes.
you had to move back to Lagos again. Now they moved back to Lagos again and had to literally start life again.
All over again.
With 2 kids.
Yeah.
2 kids.
Too lovely.
Now this time, his own salary was gone. No salary, no income. This someone that was big boy, didn't give me money that time. Well, maybe he didn't know me that time. No salary, all that. All the people that are saying big daddy cool, even though it's not big like that, they call you big or the same. And they had to now depend on Bunmi's business, had to come and start life again, move back to the family house.
Yes.
Now, you were accommodating people in your house and doing that and that. You had to move into a family house, share one room and all that, live on your wife's meager income that you had to come in. How was it?
Wow. I think I'd like my wife to speak first.
No, you speak first.
Okay.
You are the one that everybody speak first.
The truth about it is that it's not actually an easy encounter for me, because I have actually gone to a stage in my life that I do things that even my colleagues, my mates do ask, how do I go about it? What exactly am I doing? Why is it that things are just going the way they are going? So coming back to square zero was
Not even square one.
no, that's only there was no square one. Just coming back to square zero. And that's why I said my wife would have been a better person to talk, because the heat was much on me, but I think she has the better part of the heat. And then she does have to look at some of the things, and we have to cut down everything back to zero. Back to zero. Started from nothing. Sometimes we have to walk distance to go to my wife's place of income, and that means I mean, it's really a tough encounter on me. I need to be sincere to the world. I had to sometimes carry my baby on my back, walking miles. Sometimes, if it rained, then it's not an encounter you really want to experience.
You have money to take transport.
There's no even money to take transport.
No car, your car.
No car.
There was no car, the car gone. So no, we have to dispense it. You know what it means for us. We walked, and the moment it starts raining, then we need to start praying extra. We need to start praying extra to go, because the truth about it is this: there are some parts of our area that were waterlogged. So water will be filled down to my knee. I'm very tall, so the water will get to my knee.
It's trying to let you know that it's taller than me.
And
Yes. I know you are
sorry. And I had to carry my wife at my back to cross the water. If not, probably I don't want her to get soaked in the water, because she has to get to the office and do the job so that the family can survive. And then literally at that point in time, I leave the house early in the morning as if I was actually going to the office. I'm going to stay with her in her shop.
Didn't you have any shame?
Shame, okay.
But then, as at that time, there was nothing to shame about.
No, nothing to shame about.
You're already on the ground level.
Oh.
It's not, it's just
Okay, Bunmi is talking. Bunmi, what do you want to say?
Well, it was a tough encounter. But when the thing first happened, I sat down and cried. I was like, God, this is not what you told me. I didn't say anything. I took courage. When I took the courage, and I actually went to Bunmi, where the incident happened. So I had to see the people that I need to see. And I was like, one day I was praying, I was like, God, is this really what you wanted me to go into? Because all this while, even before I got married, it has been starting all over again. So I've had the experience, both in relationships, in
Yinka wasn't the first.
no, it was not the first. It was not the first.
Fine babe.
Seriously,
Fine girl.
it was not the first guy.
Yinka, sorry.
So most of the time, if things happen like that, I'll just take courage. I'll go back to my work. So I use my work to
Pour the energy.
yes, I pour the energy on my work, and from there I pick up again. So like it has happened like 3-4 times to me like that, and
So it was easier on you than on him.
yes, sir, it was easier on me.
Mm.
So when the whole thing, at the time I was praying, and what God told me was that because when that thing happened, I already saw it coming.
Oh, you knew he was going to have
Yes,
problems at work that would affect his job and income and salary and all
yes,
those
and
things.
I called him. I told him, this is what I saw. This is what I saw. Just be careful. That was what I told him. So he now said we should keep praying. But it eventually happened. But at this time, I was already
Prepared.
prepared
Right.
for what to do. So, and God told me during that prayer, He gave me Exodus 14:14. He said, I'll fight your battle and you'll hold your peace. So I held on to that word. So I took the courage and told him, come back to Lagos. Come back to Lagos. God is there for us. To everything that happens to us, He knows about it. Just come back to Lagos. We'll find a way around it. One thing I know is
did
that
not.
one
You did
thing
not want to come
I
out
know
with
it was not easy for him anyway.
You wanted to fight. I knew he was still
I know
writing
it was
the
not
pressure.
easy for him. I just told him come back to Lagos. At a point he was like, no, I won't come. I want to do this. I want to start all. I said no, just come back to Lagos. Let's sit down. Let's talk about it. Let's know where to start from. So, and I held on to that word that I will fight your battle and you hold your peace. Though it was not easy at all. Because at a point, let me say, you see paper, you call it money. As if it's money you saw. So when I held on to that word, I told God, even if you are not going to answer us, you still be God over my life. So at that point, I knew there was no turning back because there's no other place I can go to. It's still this God that I will have to approach on it and he will give us solution. I said I'll wait until my change comes. So, and that was how we started. The money, he brought money to Lagos, over $500,000. The whole money went. The whole money disappeared. So we couldn't even bring anything out of the money. Nothing came out of the money because we thought we were going to use it to invest in business and from there we pick up. But within 3-4 months, when we came back to Lagos,
You ate the money.
I did not know.
Enemies.
I did not eat the money.
So have you noticed this in life that sometimes when bad things happen, it's just as if they open the floodgates of hell. You know, we sing that song, open the floodgates of hell.
Sincerely.
Everything just begins to happen in a crazy way.
It was as if hell was let loose. So the whole money went, and I was like, wow. So I made up my mind that God, even if you don't answer us, I will stop serving you, and I will do what I'm supposed to do as your daughter. Because there's nobody I cannot do. No elder sister that will even answer you. My parents too, they were outside the country, they are just trying to patch up things then. So there was no way I could be putting
Yinka, you're the firstborn.
Yes, I am.
So you couldn't be going to meet anybody.
everybody.
Okay, so were there fears?
Because I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, the fear was not just fear, it was a blossom fear, very big one. Because the first thing that crossed my mind is, how would I go back to Lagos and go and explain that what happened? You know, that's the first fear. And then I know that people who are depending on me for assistance, to help them, to get things done, and all of a sudden, after me,
You are the one needing the
I am not
assistance.
the one that is looking at them. So I couldn't open up to them and tell them this is exactly what happened to me. But my junior ones, I just have to tell them this is exactly what happened. So those were like, no, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do that. But I just told them, let me just take my time first. Think through it and believe God for the way out. So I started with all manner of jobs. I've done so many things that I think my wife didn't know sometimes I went ahead and do them. Gone out of the house in the morning and just go do menial jobs, do all jobs. Just
From that, your senior level.
it's actually a painful experience. That's the truth.
Did you feel suicidal? Because they say men get suicidal when they get, because men attach themselves to their work, their ability to provide, their ability to, you know. So.
But as at first, when the event further happened, I can remember this day very well. Among all the days of our marriage, if there is any day in my life that I don't forget, it's the day my wife had to confront me and told me that, dear, do you remember I'm lying down beside you? And for a whole month, you didn't even do preaching on me. For the first time, and I was like, oh, I just got to realize that, Pastor, I had somebody beside me that's supposed to be my wife, but I was totally off. And I could also remember, Pastor Nee, there was a day I chatted you up and I said, I don't want to be a pastor anymore. And I could remember you replied me, you told me, why would I say so? I said, since there is nobody to pastor, then what's the essence of being a pastor? I just want to be a brother. Let me remove the title pastor. And I remember Pastor Nee just laughed and forgot about it. And from that day, he didn't chat me up over it again. We never discussed over it again, and
Sorry, we'll discuss it later.
we really want to talk about, but now, I mean, as at that time, when you found what happened, I felt like committing suicide. That's the truth. But like, where would I start from? How would I start? But here I am today, thanking God.
Here you are today, thanking God. Now, for a young couple, you were barely less than 5 years in marriage. That would have impacted. How did it impact on your marriage? People would have been talking, obviously, saying all sorts of things.
The truth about it is that people who are actually waiting, and I'm sorry to say this, but I just need to open it. There are people who are actually waiting for that to happen. Who are waiting for us to just say, oh, Sheba Sobe. And that means, I think we said so that these guys are too young to get into
experiencing all the things, the good things they're doing.
They will break it down. Just watch it, they will break it down. And my wife she's laughing because she had too many things to say, and I think it does need to share because people need to learn from
So you moved back to Lagos. You were housing people, you had to be housed, you were sharing kitchen, you were sharing living room, you were sharing space.
Sharing a lot of things.
Sharing insults.
Sharing a lot of things that you can't even explain. Really, before I got married, I told God I don't want to live in a family house. I didn't know I was going to land there anyway. Because people that are closer to me, they share their experience with me. Because really, I work with people that are far older than me. Learn from their experience and know. Some of them would talk about their in-laws and this and that and that. And I'm like, if that is the case, I don't want to stay in any in-laws house because I don't want issues for myself. Not knowing that
you were going
I was coming there. But one thing I made up my mind to do is to take everybody the way they are. And I always apply this principle. Though at times I take it to the extreme. You go for feminization, I stand at the door of your heart and I knock. If you open, I will come in and solve with you and dine with you. So it got to a stage, I had to borrow myself brain. At that point, it is what they tell me that I want to know. Anyone you don't tell me, even if you are doing it in my presence, I just close my eyes and you didn't tell me. So there's no point putting my mouth there. So it got to that stage that I was choked. At a point, I had to voice out. I almost turned the whole house upside down. Seriously.
Yeah.
I had to turn. I nearly turned it. So my husband and I were talking that I have to settle this. So I sat down and we settled it, though it wasn't easy for me. It wasn't easy because I looked at everything. I was like, Bunmi, you are not at fault. This is what has happened, this is what has happened, but I just had to get it. At that point, that was when God started with us.
You stopped fighting.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And you stop fighting, stop trying to prove that we're from big boys and girls.
Yes,
You can't be doing this to us.
So
is it because of
at
this?
that point, I started to let go. God will surpass me. And since then, it has been from one level of glory to another.
I think let me just hand the video because I was the one that was really feeling the heat at that time. She was not the one. The heat was coming from my in-law side, it was coming from my own brother's side. And then, he got to an extent. I could remember this day. Sometimes people pretend to be. I'm actually, I've gone through some things that it got to an extent that the only thing that was waiting for me and my junior wants to do was to exchange blow. We got to
and
that.
this never happened before.
Never.
So because things happen, you fell at this point, you were struggling to start up again,
We got to that extent that we were
So starting up is not just the battle you have to fight within yourselves. There's also environmental issues,
Physically,
insults, and all those.
you have to fight it.
Pastor, starting all over again, I need to tell people who are listening to us today to, is it the moment you are falling down, just expect that it's going to come from your territory, it's going to come from your community, it's going to come from people who are more closer to you, and it's going to come from your dearest friend. So you just need to prepare your mind because they will come. If I tell you they will not come, I'm lying to you. They will come, they will hit at you, insult you. Some of them, they will malign you. They will even tell you things they've never done for you in life. They will say, we did it. But despite of all of those things, you just need to stay focused and allow God. If not, my dear, you will start exchanging blow. You will start exchanging insult. The next thing you will pick up to do is to malign them. Because you start going the extra mile. And before you know it, you're already out of the entire arrangement of God for your life. So it's a game you need to work out.
So Bunmi says she pulled courage, she buried herself in her job, and as she's putting there, where did you pull your courage from? From how?
As I mean, I had to pull my courage from my life. Because you see, at that very point in time, I don't have any source of income. And because I don't have any source of income, I go without to a shop in the morning. That means we leave the house, the kids go to school in the morning. So when my children are going to school, we pick them along personally. And at the moment we drop them, I just come back to my wife's shop and I resume as if I'm an apprentice there. I stay with her from morning.
Sewing clothes, taking measurements.
That's for me. I was doing almost everything. I was doing the manager. I would be the assistant in charge.
Did you feel ashamed of yourself? You know, men, stay at home. Me, something called like some people can actually do that. You didn't do it.
As at that point, you see, there are stages you get to in life that the only way for you to help yourself is to bring yourself to that level. If you don't, you will miss it and you will miss out of your marriage. If not very careful, you miss out of your friends, you miss out of your relation, you miss out of your community. And the next thing you want to do is, since everybody has rejected me, let me go and die. That will be the next one. So at that point in time, I knew if I don't come to that level, something else. So I have to come down to that level. As I mean, some people started talking. And I'm not talking of talking at my back, I'm talking of talking to confront me to my face. Like, that was a one mission. Yeah, we'll shop. Yeah, that means they will come and tell me, this guy doesn't have work. He will come and sit down in the wife's office from morning till when they are going home at night. What exactly is he doing? Hey, yeah, where is it? That's what I heard all manner. There was nothing this my small ears did not hear when those events were happening. But today, I know this beautiful woman will talk. I'm trying.
So okay, let's look at it takes courage, yes. But you see, even courage is because some people you even could go and bury yourself in rock. Some people just get deflated completely. They can't even walk, they can't even do anything, they just can't pick it up again. Why wasn't that the case for you? I know you said you've had a series of starting again. So is it were you born that way? They give you something when you were young and say this is what you need to do. So what's helped you, I'll just bury myself in my work.
Really?
How do you get to this thing where you just pick it up?
Really, I stayed with my parents all through like if I got married. But sincerely, I only have the support of my mother. Though they were living together, but my mom, she's always there. It's not as if my dad is not there, but most of the time you have to force things out of him to do. So at that point, I'm not the type that want to ask you, I need this, I need this. I think you should know as your daughter that I need this, or as your child, I need this, then you should do it. But when it's now coming to, I need this, I don't have. I was like, okay. Then if I have to be on my feet, I want to stand on my own, then I have to start. I started as early as when I was in secondary school. I sell things to make money. So most of the time my mom would say, lower and never me. So I sell things, I do some things. I do all this also job when I was in secondary school. So from then, I just feel okay, I don't want to be distracted. I just want to be sold out in my work. If I want to be successful, and one, putting God first, and secondly, just sell yourself out to what you are doing.
Put
And
God first.
yes.
Sell yourself out where you're
To
doing.
what you are doing, and when God sees that, He backs it up with success. I think that was what really helped me.
Paul said in 1 Timothy 4, I think verse 15 or 16, he said, meditate on these things, give yourself fully to them, and your profiting will be seen before all men. I'm so happy for both of you because today I can say we get forex.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You need to
Yes, sir.
remember the man of God, and you live in your own space.
Yes, sir.
In fact, the space for your office is bigger than the place you used to live today.
Yes, sir. Very
And
well,
the place God has moved you to now is way bigger.
yes, sir.
Bigger than where you were staying before. Right. If you have, because of the late time of the night we're doing this, what would be your encouragement to people, starting again, facing the fear? I know you've said a couple of things, humility and all that. And, particularly those of us who are Christian and those of us who come from this high place, I know you also pastored in this, very, very wonderful ministry and all that,
You don't want to talk about that.
No, obviously. But, the issue is this. Whether it's ministry, whether it's life, whatever it's this thing, people sometimes come down and have to start again. And the dynamics are the same. And that's the truth. What will you say? Couples who are new in marriage, who have hit against a tough patch, and it's looking as if it's not going to work. It's not just young couples marriage. Some people are up there too. Things have happened. What would be your encouragement?
Okay, I think my first encouragement is this: just look unto God. There is something we did when we just got married, and the rules is this: God first, and every other thing comes after God.
Mm-hmm.
So, and one of the major rules that helped me and this beautiful young lady sitting on the she's still very young, is this: there is nothing that happens between us that goes to the next day. We don't allow it. No matter how tough the issue is, before we go to bed at night, we try to resolve it. If it is unresolvable by the 12 o'clock, sleep over it. But by the next morning when you're waking up, we try as much as we can to forget what had happened yesterday and we start again today. So first thing is this: the person must learn to forgive his or herself. Now things will happen.
Learn to forgive yourself.
Yes, things will happen, sir. It might be, sometimes it will be planned, sometimes it will be things you don't plan for. But so anyone that happens to you, you must learn to forgive yourself. Number two, you must always tell yourself, no matter the level I find myself tomorrow, I can start again. It does not matter how bad the situation is.
He's preaching.
No matter how bad the situation is, just make sure that you're starting again. Now, please permit me to say this. Don't look down on yourself for no reason. People will tell you things you never did. They will call you names you never call yourself. But you must say to yourself, I can start again. I can start again. I think my wife can help out in her own area too.
Super.
Well,
I have a lot of wonderful women around. I'm just a blessed man.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
really, in my work too, it's almost happened. Because at first, when I got married and I moved to the north, I had to leave everything to my cousin. He came from the Republic of Benin. So he didn't have anything to do. So I asked him to take over the place and be accountable to me. But fortunately, he took over the thing and was doing it his own way. So after a year, when I came back, he didn't want to release those things.
Wow.
He didn't want to release those things. He got to a stage I had to go there. So packing my things, my dad's shop, Nigeria. Okay, let me put these things there. they asked me not to take some things. I told you, I got this thing. And if I want to get customers, that means I have to do it. Is what they see that will bring them. So forcefully, I took those things out. No, it was not, because it's not ready to release them. So I got those things and we started that. Anybody else there, I want to encourage you. You can always start. One, you have to be determined. Secondly, you have to put yourself into it. Because the devil does not even want you to get there. So you have to do it. Now, the violence will take it by force. It's either you take it by force or you stay where you are.
You are forcefully grounded.
Seriously. So you just have to do it. You just have to keep yourself to it. If not, you can't sit down and people will pity you. They will just pity you. Because if you get to a stage, they will start saying some things that your ear should not hear. And you'll be forced to react. But by the time you are busy, you don't have that time to listen to what they are saying, then God will back your effort up.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now I know that the same people that are mocking you are envying you now.
Yes.
I know that you are like a pathfinder for those who are in that phase, and they're asking you now how are you doing? And so I'm very happy. Again, because I knew part of those. For me, it's the dignity with which you carry yourself. Some people, when they have these kind of challenges, they just don't know how to handle it. But you carry yourself with so much dignity, and I'm very proud of you. So thank you so much. God bless you. We have not seen the first Ashime Bolakoni. God is just unwrapping you, and I pray that the same God that did it for you will do much more and will do it for you too in the name of Jesus. The Bible says God is no respecter of person. There's no Jew, there's no Greek, that the same God over all is rich unto all who calls upon him. I can tell you that they call upon him and they still do. And that God that answered them, there's no respecter of person wherever you are, whatever continent, whatever nation, whatever situation, that same God will do it for you in the name of Jesus. There is power in God to start again, and I pray that power be made available to you in the name of Jesus. God bless you. Thank you so much for staying with us this evening. Please share this. You never know who is at that point that needs to hear this thing, and God will bless you in Jesus' name. God bless you, Yinka, for me. God bless you. Very proud of you. Love to my girls. Wonderful night, everybody. God bless you. Good night.
Thank you, sir.